What's going on, guys? It's CryptoDave here at Top Tier Signals, and welcome back to our weekly market updates where we take a look at Bitcoin and the broader crypto market to address some of the major topics that we need to focus on and figure out where things might go from here. And guys, we do these market updates every single week, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel, take the little bell, you won't miss a single post. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on into the discussion. So first, I want to reestablish my thesis that we are currently in the tail end of a mid-cycle correction for Bitcoin, and that we will likely see the second wave of Bitcoin's bull market here towards the end of Q4 going into 2025. And if we just take a look at Bitcoin's growth since cycle lows, we can see that we are right in between the previous two cycles that we've had. We're currently sitting up 288% from our absolute bottom. This is a good bit higher than where we were in 2016, but it's also a good bit lower than where we were in 2020. So we are right on pace when it comes to previous historical cycles for Bitcoin. And this reinforces the thesis that we are simply in a mid-cycle correction and that the next wave of this bull market is on the cusp. But we need to see a few things on the charts before we can get confident that we are ready to start making those waves to the upside. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the chart. So I just want to focus on the daily time frame today. As you guys can see, we have a massive bull flag formed here over the past year. We had a huge run up in the fall of 2023 all the way through to the spring of this year. And for the past 6 months, we have been consolidating sideways and largely downward, forming out this bullish flag formation, which is very nice to see. But we're not quite out of the woods yet. So what am I focused on in order to get very confident and very bullish? This would be the 21 and the 50 daily EMA cloud. We've talked about this on the channel quite a bit. It's an excellent indicator to judge the strength and the overall direction of the trend. And I want to show a few historical examples to give you guys an idea of what we are looking for, and then we can compare it to what we have today. So for me, there are 3 steps to the EMA cloud giving us a directional bias. The first step is to break above or below the cloud. Now, obviously, if we were entering a bull trend, we would first break above the EMA cloud where price is crossing over both the 21 and the 50 EMA. Second, we're going to want to see that this green line, this 21 EMA, is now crossing above the 50 EMA, which means that you have the shorter term price action higher than the longer term price action. So that's step 2. And then finally, step 3, we want to see that on any sort of retest of these moving averages of this general cloud, that we do stick in some support and continue higher. This is exactly what a very healthy long-term uptrend looks like for Bitcoin. We saw it in our last cycle very clearly. After we broke above the 21 and 50 EMA cloud, we got the bullish crossover, and several instances here all throughout 2021, we saw the EMA cloud acting as support as we had a very healthy uptrend. So this is the type of price action that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. We've already done 2 of these steps, which we'll look at here in just a second. Let me go ahead and show you guys another example. After we set in our top in 2021, we saw that price broke below the EMA cloud. We then saw the green, the 21 EMA, crossing below the red or the 50 EMA, and we were also getting a bearish retest. So we broke below the cloud, we were acting as resistance, we were treating it as resistance rather, and we saw the bearish crossover. And from there, every retest of this range or the general range, we were not able to sustain above the cloud, and ultimately the cloud was acting as resistance as we had a very clear downtrend through our bear market in 2022. So this gives you an idea of how the EMA cloud can give you a good look at the trend that we have, the strength of the trend, and whether or not we should be getting confident or whether or not we should be getting a bit more cautious and stepping back. And once again, in the fall of 2023, if we're looking into more recent history, we broke beyond the cloud. We had a nice cross of the 21 over the 50, and then ultimately the cloud did act as support. Now you will have some deviations. These are simply moving averages and nothing is perfect, but overall you're sticking in those higher lows. You're maintaining that 21 above the 50, and the cloud is acting as support. And we had this all the way up through to March, April of 2024 before we started our correctional period. Fast forward to today, and 2 out of our 3 steps are complete in terms of the EMA cloud and an overall bullish trajectory. So we first have the breakthrough above the EMA cloud. Next, we see that we have a nice bullish crossover. So the 21 is now trading above the 50. Our third and final step is that we want to see the retest of this general cloud acting as support. Now, as we've mentioned, of course, deviations are likely and they're perfectly fine, but ultimately we want to see that the general vicinity of this EMA cloud is going to find some support. We're going to establish a higher low, and we have the opportunity to do that right now. We've been trading at the cloud here for the past few days. We discussed this last week that a retest of this cloud was going to be very crucial to determine whether or not we have that bullish follow through right now, if there is strength, if there is momentum, or if we are going to be subject to some further chop. So I would be very, very mindful of where Bitcoin is currently trading at right now with respect to this EMA cloud. We need to stick in a significant higher low here and continue higher. And if we do get that, I think there's a great chance that we move up to our regression channel high and test this regression channel high as resistance. And I think that would act as the final line in the sand for this major bull flag that we have. If we can stick in a higher low here, and if we can break out of this regression channel high, I would be very, very bullish for Bitcoin over the next 3, 6, 9 months, however long it might take. But this is very, very important. If we are not able to hold above the cloud, much like we've seen for the past 4, 5, 6 months, we will likely be reverting back down to the lower end of our channel, and we would have to target that $50,000 to $52,000 order block once again. Now, obviously, this would not be great. I don't think it would be the end of the world, but it's just the fact of the matter. You can't let your emotions dictate your analysis. So I think this cloud has been a very accurate measure of whether or not we are in a bullish or bearish trend. I think that we have consolidated for quite some time. So I think now is very optimal to actually see that shift in the momentum and in the overall direction of the market. But again, we are waiting on that third and final confirmation that we are in a confident uptrend. And once that happens, the only line that's in the sand for me is this regression channel high. So we will have to monitor this very, very closely. I don't think that if we lose the cloud, it's going to be the end of the world, but we would certainly love to see it act as support. And remember, we've already got the breakthrough, we've got the bullish cross, we just need that third and final confirmation, and that is what I'm looking at this week. Next week, we're going to cover some altcoins that I'm very interested in, but that's all we wanted to talk about for now on the channel. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think of Bitcoin at the moment? Do you think that we are going to be bullish? Do you think that we're going to be bearish? And what are some of the trades or the coins that you are looking at right now? Guys, if you want to, please subscribe to the channel, leave us a like and a comment. It helps us out a ton. And until the next video, I will catch you guys in the Discord. Peace.